Nicola Sturgeon dealt huge ultimatum by EU insider, adopt euro or no membership. Nicola Sturgeon has been warned by EU insiders Philippe Lamberts that Scotland must accept the euro if it wants to join the EU, as the Belgian MEP says Boris Johnson is the one to blame the rise in support for independence. Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP are looking to take an independent Scotland into the EU, but they may have to make a key concession in order to achieve the goal. The Scottish First Minister has previously said Scotland would not adopt the euro while joining the bloc. Asked last year if Scotland would change to the euro, Ms Sturgeon said, "No, I don't think it would." She added, "No, we wouldn't, and there are examples in the European Union today that prove that's not the case." Sweden, for example, joined the EU after the so-called requirements to join the euro were in place. But Belgian MEP, Philippe Lamberts, tells Express.co.uk that the SNP will change its tune once in talks with Brussels. The co-president of the Greens in the European Parliament said, "Any new member state has to adopt the euro. I know that the SNP are revisiting their scenario depending on the outcome of a referendum. So I don't think past positions of Nicola Sturgeon or the SNP are reflective of the positions they will take if they apply to join the EU after a referendum." Mr Lamberts did say, however, that the EU will welcome Scotland into the EU. Figures in Brussels have previously been more hostile to the prospect. Former President of the European Commission, José Manuel Barroso, claimed in 2014 that it could be impossible for Scotland to join the EU. However, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen admitted she is a fan of Ms Sturgeon in 2019, and now Mr Lamberts backs Scotland's efforts. On whether an independent Scotland could join the EU, Mr Lamberts said, "Yes, the answer is a definite yes." He added, "There would be no obstacle for Scotland joining if the UK is no longer in the EU. And this time independence would be different, because in 2014 Scotland would have left the UK and the EU at once. Now Scotland is leaving a smaller union to join a bigger union." Nicola Sturgeon comes across as a genuine person, politically astute and someone whose word can be trusted, whereas Boris Johnson comes across very quickly as someone you can't trust. I can imagine Nicola Sturgeon being president of the European Commission. She seems to be much closer to the center of gravity of European politics than Boris Johnson is. The MEP also hit out at Prime Minister Boris Johnson, blaming him for the surge in pro-independence feeling in Scotland as polls consistently put a yes vote ahead. He added, "It is as a result of Brexit and the power grab by Boris Johnson of devolved powers in Scotland during the Brexit process that the UK will lose Scotland. Scotland will rejoin the EU sooner than many think, weakening the position of the UK.